All right, good morning, class. This is the lecture for April 17th, and we are going to continue with the worksheet, which is in your Blackboard, called Summary Response. Okay, here is what it looks like. And let me turn on the light a little bit, sorry. I don't know if that helps a little bit. Okay, so I am teaching you right now how to write a summary response. Now the summary, I think we're good. Now we're focusing on the response part of it. Okay, and last class I was going through the steps. Okay, so let's just go through to recap a little bit. Step 1, decide if you agree or disagree with the text of the response. Now, if you remember, we were on page 190 in the reading series book, and we were looking at the best way to structure a speech. Okay, this is a fairly easy passage to write a response to, although kind of basic. So that's why I chose this. Okay, so basically, I wrote here what I agreed with this text, and since you wrote a summary on this text by now, you should be able to have an opinion yourself. Okay, so I did agree with a lot of it. I liked the structure, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion paragraph that the text talked about, and I feel like I like that and I agree with that. I do disagree a little bit with the text. Now I disagree because at the beginning it talks about a successful speech is having something important to say. All right, and I wouldn't necessarily say that that's true because some people talk about things that are not important, but it's interesting. So I think I would mostly focus on passion. Okay, so people who are good speakers have a great passion, okay, about what they're saying. All right, so then we went to step 2, which is decide what are the strengths and weaknesses of the text. Now the strengths, I like the technical aspect, the academic terminology, the way that it laid out very easily the structure of the speech, and it had good information, okay? Now the weaknesses, I would say the text might be too short. It needs more examples or supporting detail. Okay. All right, so we did step number 1 and step number 2. Okay, so now we're going to move on to step number 3. And here it says, brainstorm examples, facts, and personal experiences that support your ideas above. Try to think of at least 2 ideas for each main point you mentioned above. All right, so let's go with agree. So I agreed with the structure. Okay, so I'll just write agree, structure of speech, and notice I'm not making full sentences. I'm just abbreviating because this is all kind of a worksheet to brainstorm. Okay, so I would agree with the structure of the speech, the way the text tells us about it. Why do I agree with that? Well, research. Years of research on public speaking. Okay. And my own practice. as a teacher? Okay, so I have been teaching for 20 years. Okay, so I have been doing public speaking for 20 years. Okay, so I have a lot of experience. Not that online teaching like this is a good example of this experience, but I do know that a good presentation or speech has an introduction beginning, introduction, a body, and then an end. So that's what I agree with. Now, one thing that I didn't mention before is that 4 to 5 main points should be in the body. This is in the text here. The body of the speech here, and then it says somewhere it should have 4 or 5 main points. Where does it say that? So 4 or 5 main points right here. Okay, now actually I disagree with that. So I might say, however, to make sure I know what my transition word might be. I disagree about the 4 to 5 main points. And why do I disagree with that? Well, if you're passionate about something and trying to communicate something, really people can only handle 3 points. Okay, so 3 main points is best in a public speech. All right, 4 or 5 is too many, I think, personally. And why do I think that? Now I need to give evidence of why I think that. And I can just say, because people, the audience, loses their train of thought. Okay. If there's too many points. Oops. Okay. So that's what I would say about that. Now, let's talk about disagree. Okay, what do you disagree with? And I said the text first says that you need to have something important to say, but I strongly agree that it's passion. So I would write disagree here. And since I'm started with however and disagreeing with the 4 to 5 points, I'll say I'll disagree also. Now remember, these are just notes, it's not the full paragraph. I would disagree also with the text, and here I'm going to quote, I think, from the text. In a response, quoting from the text is good. Let's see here, lots of times personal appearance. The most important thing, it says here, but the most important thing is the speaker's message. Okay, so I'm gonna quote from the text. And when I quote, I have to use quotation marks. And I'll put ... because this is just a brainstorm. It's not the full paragraph, response paragraph. Okay. Good. So why do I disagree with that? Because I think passion is key to communication. Okay, and I think passion overrides any kind of structure. And I can prove that by thinking, and I can't think right now, of a speech that had no structure, but a lot of passion in it. I'm trying to think of a good speech. I can't think of one now, but I would give an example. So I would, passion is key to communication, not necessarily structure. And then here I'm going to put example speech. I can't think of one now, but that's okay because this is my brainstorm. Okay, so that is my evidence right here. Okay. All right, so we did agree and disagree with. Now this is plenty to talk about. So here we have the strengths and the weaknesses of the text. I don't think I need these because I think I did enough here to write a substantial paragraph. Okay, so I'm just going to skip it for now. But my goal is to write 200 words, okay, for this paragraph. So if I need help, I might go back down here and take my ideas from here and support them, okay? And plus I'm running out of room over here. And this video is too long as it is. Okay, anyway, so on to step 4. We want to create a thesis statement for our response paragraph. Or I would say topic sentence if it's just one paragraph. Okay, remember topic sentence is for one paragraph, thesis statement is for many. Okay, so a simple for now thesis statement, you could say I agree with or I disagree with. And then here we're going to go to the author and the name. So the author's here, obviously, and the name of the article. I agree with Professor Lucas in his article. And then I'm not going to write the name because this is just a brainstorm. Okay, because, and then I'd say my main idea. I agree because the structure of the speech is very important. Okay. Okay. Or I could say, in my case, I would say I mostly. Okay, I mostly agree with this person in the article because the structure of the speech is very important. Okay, because I don't 100% agree, but I don't really disagree either. Okay, so that is the example. Here we would create our thesis statement. I kind of did in the example part here. Okay, and step number 5 is write the response. Okay, I'm going to write you an example response because next week I'm going to ask you to write a response. So I'll write an example one for this text next week for you. All right, I'll see you today at 10:30. All right, bye.